Okay, so today's call is the science and art to gratitude. We all know that gratitude is a a state of mind and attitude that elevates us, that ultimately puts us in a state of receivership. We're here to create a higher level of living, a higher life, a better body, a better form of yourself. And as Dr. Joe Dispenza says, gratitude is the ultimate state of receivership because if you can truly tap into anything that you're grateful for, life is good. It doesn't matter if you're in the midst of shit, dealing with things, struggling, in pain, whatever it may be. But if you can cultivate an attitude of gratitude, you are shifting your reality. You are shifting the way you think and feel. And it's a constant state of manifestation when you can be grateful for the simple things. I'm grateful for these glasses. I'm grateful for you to attend this call. I'm grateful to have a clean cup of water, when others don't have that. And you can truly tap into the appreciation of that because we've all been in a situation where we didn't have water or something to drink and we needed it, right? I can use that pain and then cultivate gratitude by actually having this in hand, something so dismal and small. And that's what this is really all about, is not getting the big audacious things, but the everyday things, whether it's a conversation with somebody you love, or a moment where you could have gone left but you went right and chose the right type of food, made the right decisions for yourself. You said no when you could have said yes previously, and you're grateful to be able to stand here today, not be in the hospital. I can't tell you, over the past couple of days in our last talk that we had, right, with the price of health, how many conversations I've had since then. One of my neighbors just got carted off at 10 o'clock at night last night. An ambulance came down my street and carted off my neighbor who is overweight, who has issues, and he started taking care of himself, going to the gym, started doing things. He actually showed me, gave me like a free trial at a rowing gym where you do rowing classes. And he gave it to me. And I was like, I really appreciated that because he's sharing his health journey. But unfortunately, he got into a situation where it was, I'm not going to say too little too late, because I think everything's okay in the sense of he's back at it, but nobody wants to be carted off in the ambulance at 10 p.m. So in that moment, I was grateful to make the decisions that I'm in or be in the place that I'm in. And we got to do that for ourselves and those around us. And I wish him well, and uh, prayed for his health and well-being. But this is all examples of, we could be over here, but we're here right now. We have the ability to breathe. We have the ability to see, live, make decisions, persevere, and make better for ourselves. So these are just like little reminders that we all know, but it is easy to get caught up in the future or the past, or where we're not, where we don't, where we're in a position where we don't want to be, but we have to cultivate gratitude to get us where we want to be, where we desire. And that is a hack. That is a way of constantly turning and recycling something that could be quote unquote negative, and we turn it into something positive. It's alchemy. It's emotional alchemy. It's physical alchemy. It's the ability to create the life that you want. And that state of receivership, you receive that which you give. It's in essence, you're giving that feeling of gratitude, you're feeling it, and that is bringing in that which you want. And that's just something that, we could get into. This is mystical woo woo type talk, but we know that this shit is real. And so I want to bring the science into the art of gratitude, just to remind us, just to have some physical proof, because seeing is believing. And this is something that is going to fuel us to continue to put this into practice. And then at the end of this talk, I'm going to be giving you some protocols into consistently construct gratitude in your life, and some reasons behind that as well. So I want to get into some of uh, the aspects of gratitude here, and give you some bullet points on the science. So There's been a lot of research done with gratitude, and a lot of research, peer-reviewed research. So this is from, big universities, big publications in the medical field. And we can always pick and choose what type of research we want to pay attention to. But gratitude is just one of those things that we all know, we feel, we can get into the state of mind of being grateful. And it's cool that they've actually done some really well documented research behind this to really, you can't argue the benefits of it. And it's so damn simple. It's overlooked. Like everything that we go through in this program, right, is such simple foundational things that we just tried to focus on these big ways of doing things: keto diet, intermittent fasting, calorie counting, and they try to make that simple, but there's even more simple underlying factors to create the body and the reality and the health that you desire. So let's get into this with gratitude, because it is, I believe, one of the key states of mind that are going to get you the health that you deserve and that you're on the path to achieving. Because I can't tell you how many people I work at a training center, not a gym, but a training center. This is a private training center where we work with professional athletes, college athletes, high school athletes, and we've got a lot of business owners, executives, high level performers. And even some of the coaches there, I'm going to speak of it, some of these guys are highly stressed. And I've seen the stress issues, not only in their physical sense, a lot of like bellies, specifically around the midsection, a lot of weight gain around there, even with coaches who are overstressed and they go through seasons of up and downs. But the guys who have the belly stress, and the belly weight, I should say, is due to stress. And gratitude suppresses stress hormones. It puts you into a positive state. There's a genetic and hormonal tie to your state of mind. That's why this is so important. It's so important to pay attention to your thoughts. It's so important to pay attention to your feelings. The thoughts and feelings are going to shape your body. When you strength train, or when you have a craving, or when you don't want to do something that you should be doing, and you listen to the feeling, that's your body telling you what you've been teaching it for the past 10, 20, 30, 40 years. And it's not telling you the thing that you want in your mind, right? You don't want to be overweight. You want to be fit and lean. You want to be energetic. You want to be a representation of health and discipline and poise and confidence and energy. And so we have to kind of get into this state of mind where we positively elevate our attitude and our energy in the right direction. And over time, our body is going to listen to it. It's going to listen to those thoughts. It's going to listen to those feelings. Those cravings will get smaller. They'll get quieter. And your mind and the voice within that mind is going to get louder and louder. There's a saying, I think it's like a Native American saying, where you have two wolves inside you, and the one that you feed is going to howl the loudest. And your thoughts are going to shape your feelings. And a lot of people operating today and in an unconscious state, the body, the feelings are telling the mind what to think, right? You get this craving for carbohydrates and you think, go for the chips, or go for the sweets, or go for this type of food, or I'm hungry, get the fast food, or something like that, where it leads down an instant gratification, but a long-term deficit or a long-term loss, right? And this is where we end up in a state where we're not happy with ourselves or happy with our situation or whatever it may be. And this is why we're bringing conscious awareness to our health and to our thoughts and to our feelings to be able to make the decisions that we want. And this is where you can come to a fork in the road and go, I'd normally go left, but I'm going right this time. And the more you make decisions in the right manner, the louder that wolf gets, the louder that self gets. And now the feeling that the body is combating you with, that other wolf, is now starting to acquiesce. It's starting to listen to you. You got to train your body, because your body has been training you, because it's been ingesting chemicals and things that are ultimately going to create addiction in a negative way But now we're starting to veer ourselves into a way of thinking that is going to overpower the body, overpower those feelings, and overpower those limitations that we've been dealing with consciously and unconsciously. So that being said, let's get into the science of gratitude, because this shapes your genes, this shapes your hormones, this shapes your feelings, and you're going to start getting a positive feedback loop the more you implement gratitude within your practice, within your life, within your day-to-day routines. You're going to start to feel good just on demand. And when you start to feel good in an organic, authentic way, not through social media or a quick dopamine hit or these really empty, I'll even say processed foods, processed sugars, processed fast foods are an instant dopamine hit, but we know what happens afterwards. We feel like shit afterwards. We don't feel good. We have low energy. We feel lethargic. We have all these issues. And I'll say this, because Felicia, you mentioned to me that you had some low energy and you were yawning by doing the 14-day detox, eating clean food, but having low energy. And this is an example of kind of what we call a redox effect. Instead of detox, redox is your body's capability to be flexible and handle the ability to remove certain things. And sometimes it can actually cause a quote unquote negative effect. And this is why I was telling you, you need to refeed on carbohydrates, because your body just isn't ready for the full effect of a detox. And that's not a bad thing. That's meeting you where you're at with your situation and what you got going on, right? There's ways to dose this and get you to a point where you can handle it more effectively. And that's part of this personalization. This is where, one person can go on a 14-day detox, no problem. Some people have to kind of pace themselves through it in multiple ways for multiple reasons. So it's a process of handling load over time. I'm kind of going off on a tangent here with this, but the point, bringing it back to gratitude, is that we can get into a positive state of mind and start overpowering these negative feelings and these negative side effects. And it's going to create clarity and space for you to make the right decisions more often over time. And so this research that I'm going to be sharing with you is proving what I'm saying. I'm not just saying this, but I'm going to provide some facts here. So we'll go into it, not necessarily in order of what I was just talking about, but I think we can all connect the dots here, just being dot connectors ourselves and seeing the bigger picture of how everything affects everything. Gratitude is certainly one of those things that affects everything. So number one, the benefit of gratitude is improving mental strength. Studies have shown that gratitude not only reduces stress, but it could also play a major role in overcoming trauma. A 2006 study published in Behavior Research and Therapy found that Vietnam War veterans with higher levels of gratitude experienced lower rates of PTSD. Right? So you go through an extreme situation, and any type of transformation can lead to you retracting to go to the old ways. I'm not even going to go over PTSD, but I'm just like, if you're going into a new path and a new adventure and a new way of being and thinking, if you can increase your mental strength and fortitude, you're less susceptible to going back to the old ways. And gratitude is one of those things that you can start to project in the future. I'm grateful for this body. I'm grateful for this energy. I'm grateful for this health. I'm grateful to be here, breathing. I'm grateful to, not have XYZ pain. If you've ever been in back pain or had low back pain and you're not dealing with it right now, that's grateful. That you can cultivate that gratitude right now, immediately, because if you've gone through it, you know how debilitating it is and how much it more than a splinter in the mind. It's like a knife in the mind. It takes up so much time and space. Same thing with gut issues. Same thing with other issues that you may have been, if you've ever been hospitalized or had your health taken at a moment's notice and you're in a state where you can sit here, watch, and actually function properly. That's a state of gratitude. Somebody always has it worse. That's another way to cultivate gratitude. I'm kind of intermixing some science and art to this, but if you can take a situation that you've gone through that has been worse, or a family member or personal experience in some way, whether it's you or a direct, 1 degree off from you and somebody else, somebody close to you that you care about, or that you felt their pain through their health, and you can utilize that and recycle that and go, I'm in this state where I'm not dealing with that. and I'm grateful to be in this position, right? You're grateful to be in this position to be able to help others, to represent the values that you're holding strong, which is health, which is being selfish to be selfless to others. So you can use a negative and recycle it and put it into a positive. But that improved mental strength allows you to remove the emotion and the feeling and focus on what's really important. And then you can choose how to feel when you choose to express gratitude. All right. So the second one, gratitude reduces stress. A series of studies published in 2015 in the Journal of Emotion found that gratitude is linked to significantly lowering levels of stress hormone cortisol. Emotional well-being, which was a study done by the Journal of Psychosomatic Research in 2003, demonstrated that practicing gratitude was associated with a 23% lower level of cortisol compared to a group that did not practice gratitude. So what they did is they implemented a gratitude journal where they journaled points that they were grateful for. Just writing down, I'm grateful for simple things like this water. I'm grateful for this chair to be able to sit down in front of you. I'm grateful for this camera to be able to project myself across the nation. I'm grateful, so all these little things, because we've been in situations where we lacked. I've been in a position where I did not have a room or a place or a camera or water when I needed it or when I wanted it, and I'm grateful to have these little things that aren't occupying pain in my mind. Instead, I get to speak, about health and well-being. I'm grateful for that, genuinely. So we can use pain points to recycle into a positive, but to lower cortisol by 23% compared to a group that did not. This is competed against antidepressants. So I'll go further into this research. Drugs like, I'm going to butcher the name of this, drugs like saligaline and metrapone are used to reduce cortisol levels in the body, particularly for patients with conditions like Cushing's syndrome, which is a cortisol issue. They fail or have an issue with metabolizing cortisol, or other major depressive disorders. However, these drugs can have side effects ranging from nausea to abdominal pain. Gratitude has no negative side effect except for maybe pissing somebody off who wants to be in a pissed off state and you express gratitude, right? It's a polarizing emotion. They get pissed, but we're not talking about them. We're talking about us. Gratitude carries no negative symptoms for you. 23% lower cortisol rate, lower stress, 23%. You're cutting stress off by a quarter compared to what you're feeling now if you're not practicing gratitude on a consistent basis. That is huge, absolutely huge. It allows you to see the light when everybody else is seeing just darkness. It allows you to find the light switch when everybody else just sits in a corner and cries. It allows you to push through barriers that the old you may have pushed through. We're going back to that mental resilience state, right? There's a way out. There's a path. There's a way to get through. And you can do that when you're not stressed. You can find solutions. You can tap into the infinite resource of intelligence when you're not so constricted and tight and tense and stressed. Instead of focusing on the problem, you start to focus on the solution. Instead of the problem, you start asking for answers. You start asking the right questions. You start thinking clearly. We've all been in a state where we've overstressed and we choked and we didn't get the result we desired, except we've also been in positions where we play it cool, calm, collective, and we pull miracles. And those are reminders of what we're capable of doing. So you can use the past to create the future, which is a whole nother module we'll go through in another talk. But this is just powerful stuff. Gratitude, man. I cannot express how important this is to cultivating health. 23% drop in cortisol, man. That's a freaking hack. I mean, like, this brain and this vessel, this body, is really a vessel for the soul, for the spirit. Bob Proctor talks about this. If you haven't looked into Bob Proctor, he's awesome into this. But it's like we have a physical plane, an intellectual plane, which is the mental side, like thinking, thought in that sense. But then we have the spiritual plane, right? And that's ultimately what we are. And we're using this body to express our spirit in the best way possible. This is why health is wealth. This is why you guys are on this journey to get the most out of life and to really let your soul really express itself in the highest level. So gratitude is you're tapping into that spiritual vibration and you're
Question.
starting shoot.
All right. So how do we train our minds to, because right now, depending on the severity of the day or the severity of the situation, me personally, my mind defaults to, oh shit, instead of being grateful for the opportunity to go through said thing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
How,
No,
how, how do you, like, what are there any exercises that you can kind of touch on that could help us with kind of channeling the better energy or reversing, reversing that thought process?
absolutely. And I'll get into it a little bit more detail at the end, but I'll touch on it here is to develop the mind, it's reps. It's reps, reps, reps. There's not just a flip of the switch in that sense. You'll get there when you can flip something and just make a choice and create it. But you have to put reps in, just like you put reps into any skill set. It's a skill. It is just a skill. Let's simplify it. It's not a you're born with it type of thing in the sense of like you either got it or you don't. You are born with it, but a lot of we get conditioned to where we lose touch with the capability of just being able to flip the switch and be this person or do this or choose that. So the mentality, the mindset of what you're talking about, it takes reps. It takes reps, just like a muscle is the physical manifestation of the mental mind work, right? Going into the gym on a routine basis, having a structured program, which we'll get into at the end more detail of how to structure your muscle, the same thing that you can structure your thought patterns and your way of doing things. You'll be able to handle more when you can handle more. You'll be able to get more here. Let's revert that. You'll get more, you'll receive more when you can handle more, right? And that's where gratitude is the ultimate state of receivership, is when you can be grateful with absolutely nothing. Think about how grateful you'll be when you have everything,
100%.
right? And that's what I mean, like getting down to the foundation of like what you're actually grateful for. Truly, I got a shirt on my fucking back, you know, I got a roof over my head. There I've heard this before from time to time, but it's like if somebody's in a state of depression, go to the the youth cancer ward at a hospital. It's like there is much more problems than what we're dealing with, right? And we know all the problems with third world countries and all that stuff. And it's like, that's what I mean by recycling. And it's not to dismiss them or avoid them or utilize them in a negative way. It's taking that and going, I can be better to ultimately then serve the world. And you got to put the reps in constantly. It's showing up to these calls, it's reviewing these calls. Like, don't just listen to them once. If something sparked it and it's like this motherfucker's on point about something that I need to dial in, review it, review it, review it. Pay attention to the keys, that the recommendations that I'm giving in this process too. Like, you got to be a student and pay attention, because success leaves clues. I'm taking this from mentors that I've gained information from. When they say, check out Bob Proctor, write that down. YouTube him. YouTube Bob Proctor, probably the most positive, And I don't mean this like in a blissful, like everything's sunny, no, I'm talking about when it's raining and it's lightning and it's storming, you're thankful that you got a cardboard box over your head and you're not completely getting thrown through the mud on the flood type of thing, right? Like you're able to just cultivate and withstand a storm to be able to see daybreak and then see the sun and be able to get back up and make a move again. And you have to train yourself. So strength training, exercise is a great mode for that, but also just the mental practice, the space, the place where you can talk to yourself and focus on just breathing and appreciating taking a breath in and developing that presence of mind, that state of mind. It takes time, it takes energy, it takes focus on a repeat account day in and day out. And what happens is you start, as I was telling you about the body trying to train the mind starts to train the body, and it starts to just naturally think this way and be this way. You can't be fucked with when you are grateful when you have nothing. Nothing can touch you, nothing can affect you negatively. Because when something is thrown at you, which somebody would judge as negative, you take it as just is and go, okay, I'm going to use that and I'm going to put it towards my fuel of what I want, what I desire. And now you develop faith and confidence in yourself. You develop faith and confidence in your dreams. You develop faith and confidence in your ability to seek the solution, to tap into the solution. And now it's not a matter of if, but when. And you just stay the course. And this takes time and effort, consistency. You don't just get there and just go, okay, I automatically think this way. The guys who think this way have been trained, have trained themselves constantly. You don't see a guy in the gym who's jacked, lean, and buff or ripped or in shape, and not by it doesn't happen by accident. It happens through dedicated work, right? Research, constant student of the game. So when you notice that you are going into that negative state, that's the opportunity to then pause, breathe, take a second, and go, this is how I'm going to feel. This is what I need to do. So if you're thinking and feeling the way you don't want to feel and think, but you have the conscious awareness to stop and hit the brakes, I'll literally sometimes, like if I have a negative thought going on, because you're never going to get away from them. They're going to come in. That voice is going to butt in every once in a while, daily. But I mean, you literally can pause it, stop, and go, okay, what do I want to think about? What do I want? Because this thinking, this feeling is not going to get me where I want to be. So that's clear. Let's dismiss that. What is going to get me where I want to be? Let's start with gratitude. Let's start with, and going back to cultivating your vision, right? Like when we talked about a couple calls ago about creating your dream body, like cultivating your vision is going to allow you to persevere and shape your way of thinking and your mentality and your mindset. And it's going to allow you to persevere through the pain, trials, and tribulations that you will go through when you develop yourself. Anything worthwhile is not just handed to you, right? It takes work, it takes effort, it takes consistency, it takes developing skills, it takes developing awareness within yourself ultimately. And then from there, you start to become the master of self, and then you really start to become the creator in your life. So it just takes constant time, practice on a daily basis. And we'll get into the structure of what that looks like at the end of this, but it is a daily practice, multiple times a day. It is an awareness, but you have that polar opposite where you don't like the feelings and you don't like the thoughts. When you catch yourself going, oh shit, that's a moment in time where you go, wait, nope, get it out. What do I want? I'll literally hit my head like this when I have a thought and I'm like, nope. That's pulling from Tim Grover, Michael Jordan's trainer, Kobe Bryant's trainer. We were having a talk on that one time, and he said, he'll literally be walking his dog in the street or in the sidewalks, and he'll stop and he'll just hit his head and knock that thought out and implant the thought that he wants. just to show the level of magnitude where this level of thought really comes from. The best of the best are implementing conscious awareness. And when you have a thought that doesn't follow in line with where you're going, where your vision is, which is, this is at the core of it all, right? Your vision is who you are, what you got to be that person before you have, right? You want the body, you want the lifestyle, you want the success, you want the business, you want the family, you want the lifestyle. You have to be that person before you have it, because you'll be that individual in here thinking and feeling that way. Then you'll do the things that that individual thinks and feels, and you'll do it in a way that creates the results, right? And we've all gone through this in any type of skill set that we have mastered or have developed over time. Real estate broker, you go through sales training, you go through the mechanics of, the ins and outs and legalities and all these things, and you could probably recite laws and things and propositions and all sorts of things that are happening in the market that I don't know about. And in the beginning of your career, it was probably choppy and very robotic, but then you start to learn how to actually associate with people, how to properly sell, how to actually relate to people to where they can understand it at their level. And then they start to really understand you and like your personality, and they start buying from you. But that took time, that took effort, that took some practice. And the same thing goes with the image. So the image that you created as a broker is the same image that this is the same process you have to develop as an image as a health individual, as a father, as a husband, as a man. Same thing with you, Felicia. It's the same thing. It's the same vision that you want to develop as a mom, as a wife, as a human being. In whatever endeavor, whatever realm you want to master, you have to develop a vision. And so gratitude is one of those keys that is going to allow you to get into that physical feeling, that state, that mind of, instead of, oh shit, it's, oh shit, let's go. It's just it's an opposite effect. So reps, just like in the gym, reps, just like constantly having a good breakfast leads to a good lunch, leads to a good dinner. One day of doing that is not going to change your life, but doing that week in and week out, doing that month in and month out, doing that consistently is going to change your physical state in your life. Same thing with the gym. Same thing with any skill set that you have developed, is going to develop over time. All right. So let's see here. So that reducing stress by 23%, keep that in mind. That is a powerful tool. You have the ability to manipulate your hormones, your DNA. You literally can change your DNA by thinking in a certain way. And gratitude is one of those ways. Another fact, better sleep. Gratitude creates better sleep. A study published in 2011 in the Journal of Applied Psychology, Health and Well-Being, found that the writing in a gratitude journal improves sleep. So here's a whole little hint on the structure and program to cultivate gratitude. A gratitude journal. A 2011 study conducted on individuals with neuromuscular disease found that those who routinely expressed gratitude reported notably better sleep. The participants who had a more grateful outlook had less negative thoughts. So this is stress, right? Skill, or I should say not stress, this is skill starting to reduce the negative thoughts, and more positive thoughts at bedtime, which improve their sleep quality. A study published in the Journal of Psychosomatic Research found that people who rated higher on gratitude scales had better sleep quality, longer sleep duration, spent less time awake before falling asleep, and needed less time to fall back asleep if awoken in the middle of the night. So you talk about a sleep hack is gratitude. Very, very powerful. So the next one, enhances empathy and reduces aggression. So keeping your cool and feeling for others. So being more present and reducing aggression, right? Instead of reacting, you're responding. Gratitude helps with this. According to a 2012 study by the University of Kentucky, grateful people are likely to be more empathetic and less likely to respond in an aggressive manner, even when it is negative, perceived as negative. I'll add to that. Next one, gratitude lowers blood pressure. A 2007 study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that patients who kept a gratitude journal reported having a healthier heart, potentially due to the decrease in resting blood pressure. I will add to that decrease, that 23% decrease in cortisol, is going to reduce blood pressure. George Mason University conducted a study published in 2015 where participants were asked to write in a gratitude journal for 8 weeks. These participants showed a significant decrease in their systolic blood pressure by an average of 4 points. So if you were at 124, you went down to 120. If you were at 130, you went down to 126 by just journaling gratitude for 8 weeks. Not even blood pressure medication is that effective. The blood pressure medication on there, statins, have a 1 in 300, I believe, rate of effectiveness, meaning for every 300 people that take a statin, only one of those 300 people actually see a positive benefit from taking the statin. And that's considered a very effective drug. Welcome to the world of Western medicine. Bunch of bullshit, in my opinion. That being said, carry on. Moreover, a separate study published in 2013 by the American Psychological Association involving 186 men and women who already had damaged hearts found that those who wrote in a journal about gratitude for 2 months had lower levels of inflammatory biomarkers that could lead to heart disease. Gratitude is reducing the risk of heart disease. These are people who already had damaged hearts. They're reducing inflammation markers. Very, very powerful. The mind is the most powerful hormonal gland control system that we have available to us. You can choose what you think and you can choose what you feel. Joe Dispenza, he also says, Dr. Joe Dispenza says that thoughts are the language of the mind and feelings are the language of the body. It's kind of those two wolves type of analogy right there, right? Feed the mind and the body will follow. But so many people, if you look at anybody, I would argue anybody who's out of shape, not in the ideal health, has listened to their body more than their mind. Consciously, unconsciously, a combination of the two. And we have the ability to control our bodies. Drop it down by 23%, drop inflammation markers, improve our sleep, improve our ability to respond versus react. Very powerful things. And this is just journaling gratitude. And that's really what you're looking for, Sean, in terms of the hack. How do you develop this? It's a daily practice of journaling gratitude. And we'll get into that at the end. All right. So gratitude enhances resilience. Resilience is being able to handle shit, being able to hand more. And when you can handle more, you receive more. So the research from the University of Notre Dame showed that those who were more inclined towards feelings of thankfulness and gratitude are also better able to handle adversity, showing more resilience in the face of distressing situations. This study was called the Science of Generosity Initiative, highlighted the role of gratitude in enhancing psychological resilience among individuals. In other words, it enhanced their ability to handle shit. The research suggests that gratitude benefits stem from its role in promoting social connectivity and positive perception of experiences. So it goes back to what we were talking about. When you got that, oh shit type of thought, you start to turn it into, oh shit, cool, or opportunity, or I'm grateful to learn this lesson. When normally someone would take a loss, you take a lesson. That's an example of turning something into a positive. The key findings from this research include social connections. The experience of gratitude can promote pro-social behavior, which is good for anybody in networking, business, or personal. Think about the connection between you and Felicia, right? Like this is deepening a deeper bond between people around us, improving feelings of community, And this can offer emotional support. So this is like very holistic and dynamic. It's not just that gratitude improves your connection with people, but those people also provide support for you, and it just reciprocates. Other things such as coping for stress, positive outlook, these things all significantly get improved through practicing gratitude. So I'll add to the enhancing resilience as a final piece to the science is that the ones who stick with it, who are willing to stick with it and have no quit in them, success is inevitable. I don't care if there's a period of time where you don't see any results. If the switch you can flip is deciding I'm in this till I get where I need to be, and then I'm going to continue to go on after that, right? Like this is a life decision. This is not a 6-week quick fix to get to the body that you want, to lose the weight. No, this is a life choice. This is developing a lifestyle, a new way of thinking and being. You're going to change generations because of the decision that you guys are making today. That's the reality. Your kids are going to shape. You're programming your kids when you make these decisions, when you put these practices into play. It's not what you say, it's what you do. And that's going to show in the form of your body, your physique, your energy, your ability to respond versus react, your ability to cultivate gratitude even in the midst of a storm. And your cortisol is going to drop 23%. Your inflammation markers are going to drop 25%. Your risk of heart disease is going to drop down. Your risk of all of these diseases that people talk about, including cancer, diabetes, because those are related to stress. You absolutely better believe it. This is cultivated, directly linked to stress. And we talk about other ways of reducing stress, right? So there's gratitude. There's the artificial light exposure. So if we can reduce our exposure to artificial light, that's why I wear these. It's been second shift, just as like a little point here, and then we'll get into the practice of gratitude and how you can structure this in your day. The second shift, which is, you're under artificial lights because it's dark outside, has been classified as a carcinogen. Working second shift, people who work second shift have a higher rate of cancer because they're exposed to artificial light more than other individuals, and they're exposed to artificial light at the wrong times, when you should be sleeping or when you should be protecting yourself from artificial light when the sun goes down. These people are exposed to light without protection, and that increases stress on the body. So we can decrease stress by 23% by just cultivating gratitude, which is going to reduce your body's reactivity towards other stressors in your life. So you become just a cool, calm, collective person. I was going to say motherfucker. You're going to be a cool, calm, collective motherfucker when you can actually just focus on what's actually good. So let's get into the practice here. So very simple. You can do different levels of gratitude, but I want you to get a notebook. Could be, I prefer a Moleskine notebook because these things are like just rock solid. You could toss them all around. They're very, they look nice. They're very solid compared to like the Ring notebooks that you can rip off, but it really doesn't matter. The most important thing is the daily practice of writing down what you're grateful for. Spending 5 minutes just focusing on calming the mind, quieting yourself. Don't just sit down and just start writing. Just don't go down and just start thinking, what am I grateful for? Take a moment, take a minute, 2 minutes, and just focus on your breath. Breathe in, breathe out, and think about yourself relaxing. You can even say relax on the out breath. Take 3 to 5 breaths. Just close your eyes. I don't care if you do it on the toilet. Just go into a place where you're by yourself and can get away from everybody and just take the time to do it. The best time to do this is in the morning and at night. You want to practice both these times because these are times when you can start to implant ideas into the subconscious mind, which will train your mind to be geared towards this way of thinking faster than if you just do it in the midst of chaos when the kids are running around or you got other people trying to get your attention. This is your time. Do it in the morning. Get up a little earlier, 15 minutes earlier if you even need to. Doesn't take much time, is my point. This is what's beautiful about it. It's so simple, it's overlooked. So you take 3 to 5 breaths just to keep it very simple. You could go for 15 breaths, 20 breaths, and take your time. You could get into a meditation. You could get into practicing meditation. Headspace app is a good example of getting into meditation for 5, 10, 15 minutes. It's guided meditation. You can go on YouTube and look for a gratitude meditation or a breathing meditation. Now, that being said, just to do this on your own and keep it very simple, I'm just going to keep it, let's focus on key points to walk away from so you can start implementing this tonight, is get a notebook or get a piece of paper even just to start. Sit down in a comfortable chair or at a desk, sit upright with good posture, breathe in through the nose 3 to 5 times, deep breaths, fill the lungs, and breathe out. And then ask yourself, what am I grateful for? And just be very observant around you. Look around. It could be just as simple as, and you write this down, I'm grateful for, and then you could put, colon, dot, dot, and then number 1, I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to take a breath. I'm grateful for this chair. I'm grateful for these blinds. Ever been in a house where, especially when you move in, there's no blinds and you're in a fishbowl? It's a weird feeling versus you got blinds. It's something very simple. I'm very grateful for this pen to be able to write this down. Like, you could just be very simple about it and really feel the gratitude. Don't just rip through it. Take your time to really feel the gratitude. Now you're becoming an alchemist. Now you're becoming a manifester. You're putting yourself into a positive state of mind. So now you're intentionally really drawing that feeling. And if you don't feel it right away, don't beat yourself up over it. But focus on the simple things. Don't focus on the big things. Focus on the simple little things and try to get creative with it. Very simple things. What it does is it starts to expand your perception. You start to pay attention to the little things. I'm grateful for this doorknob right here that I can open my door with. It's very simple things. But think about if I didn't have that doorknob and I was stuck in here, and it'd be a pain in the ass to open. It sounds silly, but it's like these little things, if you can start to become more perspicacious, perspective is widened and broadened, you start to see more opportunities. You start to see more around you. This life that we live is not about learning things. It's just becoming aware of what already is. All these things are around us. The money is there. The opportunity is there. The health is there. The relationships are there. The love is there. The joy is there. The fun is there. The gratitude is there. We just have to be open to it. We have to become aware of it. So you just become aware of these stupid things or these little things. I say stupid because I run this through with my son, and it took quite a few times for him, he's 12, to get to the point where he got it. But you call them stupid, or I don't know what to draw from, right? These little things. But that's really what life is all about. So if you can get in touch, it doesn't always have to be a physical object. It can be, I'm grateful for, it could be something that, Felicia did for you, or Sean, or Felicia. It could be something that Sean did for you or said something, and express those things, between each other. Express those things that you're grateful for. And that can be a daily practice between you two. Like, what are you grateful for between each other? And feel that, right? That's going to strengthen the bond between you guys too. And that's, something that, research from the University of Notre Dame talks about. So these things, just take time, take a moment to get yourself to neutral, and then connect with the breath. And then from there, write down at least 3 things, and it could be 10 things. But I think 3 is a good start and a good consistent measure to really touch base and be grateful for little things around you. And if you feel you're really grateful for, let's say you landed a deal and you're really grateful for that, write that down, celebrate that. That's going to cultivate a big feeling, right? And that feeling is what's really important because you're teaching your body how to feel. Your mind is teaching your body. Your body is not teaching your mind. And that's true health. Health is all about mastery, self mastery. You're not tempted by the cravings, even though they may come in terms of a feeling that's your body crying and yelling at you. You tell it how to feel. You tell it what you're going to do, right? So it's the vessel for our spirit, and our spirit is much more powerful than a craving. So that's how you put this into practice. You get a notebook, you utilize that, you write it in, doesn't matter if it's pen or pencil, but you write it down. You're creating in physical form a feeling, and you just focus on little things, little simple things. And you can always add to that. It doesn't have to be all just little things. It can be a multitude of things. It can be an experience. It can be something that you went through, in terms of a breakthrough or a lesson or whatever it may be. The world is your oyster. You can pick from whatever you choose, but as long as you can cultivate that feeling, that's the most important part behind all this, is that you write it down, you get present with it, you observe and increase your perception of things. Now you're much more aware. This is what the practice does. This is the thing that it opens your perception of reality. And now you start just focusing on the good things. You start to focus and look at things through that type of lens. Now life gets a lot brighter. This is how you're able to reduce stress. This is how you're able to optimize your DNA, your hormones, your body, and your life. It's extremely powerful. Extremely powerful. So the attitude of gratitude, it's a real thing. Does that answer your question, Sean?
100% it does. Man,
Awesome.
bottom line, just to send it back your way, make sure I got it. Ultimately, in the effort to cultivate that mindset of gratitude, you just got to put it into practice.
Just got to do it, man. Just got to do it constantly, consistently. It's you're gonna have moments in time where things are, and it's a you're gonna find that balance between when you got to be acknowledge whatever's going on, but then you also got to flip it and go, okay, grateful for the acknowledgement, grateful for this moment. And that's a bitter pill to taste sometimes, but then you get to the solution, right? We don't get anywhere when we complain or it just doesn't get us anywhere. But when you can acknowledge something and go, okay, I'm grateful, move forward, yeah, put it into practice. Morning and at night is the best time for yourself to be poised, alone, and eliminate distractions and get to the task at hand. It's concentrated work. And that focused work, that concentrated work is going to produce more results. The intention is going to be much more intense at those times, which is going to prepare you for what you go through on a day-to-day basis. All good there? Any questions on the practice? Any questions on anything else I talked about?
No, no, I think it was pretty straightforward.
Yep.
Um, Definitely didn't know. I learned a lot during this one. In fact, gonna have to go back and check it out
Yes, sir.
again to pick up on some more of those gems. But never really had a correlation between being grateful and that alone could reduce the stress hormone cortisol. I freaking 23%. Crazy.
Big man. You're dropping stress by a quarter. Stress is this is like, let's say this is your, our daily reservoir of stress, of shit that we can handle, right? And we got family, we got business, we got finances, we got play, personal time, romance, blah, 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 health, personal, whatever you want to cultivate in here, that adds to the, that fills up the reservoir. And things break when that reservoir overfills, it spills, right? We create a mess. We got to clean things up. We got to fix things. And that creates frustration, anger, reactivity, more problems, or we got to spend time doing this, and that then delays something else that we're building or working on or cultivating. And when you can reduce this, by a fourth, now, you got more room to handle stuff. And as you're able to handle more, you're able to do more, and that even lowers stress down, right? So it's just it's a positive feedback loop. It's something that gives you more and circulates more. So that's abundance, right? That's just something that it's just going to continue to reciprocate and build. And even when things are causing resistance, or you're experiencing a situation that's not in your favor at this point in time, you're going to be able to, recycle it and utilize it for growth in the future. And as you get better at it, you're going to be able to get over it a lot quicker. And you're going to be able to utilize it to fuel you and get results faster. And this is how just abundance starts to circulate. And it starts with gratitude. I mean, anybody who's really at a level that we all want to obtain or achieve some type of success in any realm, they practice this thoroughly. This is something that will get you to any level of success that you want to achieve. It is absolutely by gratitude. It's the foundation. It's the ultimate state of receivership. It's fantastic stuff. If nothing else, I'll lead you guys to it. Start putting the practice of gratitude in tonight. Take 5 minutes, focus on your breath, 3 to 5 breaths. Then get into a state of receivership by asking yourself, what am I grateful for? And look around. Be perspective. Put your past, utilize what you may have gone through or somebody else has gone through, and put yourself in a state of gratitude towards, what you do have, because we all have abundance. It is our right. It is our birthright. This is something that you can tap into instantly. So with that being said, I'm grateful for you guys to show up. I'm grateful for you guys and your participation and intention. And it's going to create more gratitude for everybody around us.
Yes, sir. Grateful for you as well, Justin.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. All right. Have a good night, and I will talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.